There we are. Okay, let's see. I think we are live, Valissa.
Yes, I see.
All right, fantastic. Hello, 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 everyone. I want to thank you first and foremost for joining my guest and I today live for what is going to be a spectacular conversation. And I want to thank you for your patience because we're living in a time where we've got technology, technology, technology. So we're jumping in now. I've got my beautiful, beautiful guest, Valissa Pierrelouis, today. So thank you, Valissa, for hanging in there with me and getting our technology right. And thank you for carving out this time to be with our community for Healthy House Calls with Angel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Angel. I'm so glad to be here.
Wonderful. I want to first introduce what this episode, this conversation is about, how this came about, what our intention is on this show, if you want to call it a show, Healthy House Calls with Angel. Those of you who follow me on Facebook and or on LinkedIn know that I'm an adult geriatric nurse practitioner. I specialize in integrative health and lifestyle medicine. And I say I have the absolute joy and pleasure of caring for individuals both in clinical practice and in my coaching practice across the lifespan. And I say it as a pleasure because I get to see life as it exists from the beginning to the end. I invite special people on to talk about the special things that they are doing that address lifestyle medicine and integrative health. Ordinary people living extraordinary lives and doing extraordinary work. And I am so pleased and excited to talk with Valissa Pierrelouis today about something that I think is so crucial that we couldn't possibly talk about enough, and that is career strategies, career success. You know, May is National Women's Health Month. And most of us know the statistics about women in heart disease, women in cancers, women in all kinds of, you name the clinical condition, women by far are almost always top of the list in terms of being diagnosed with certain conditions. We want to address women's health from a different angle this month. Not really talking about the more overt things that women are dealing with, cancers, high blood pressure, diabetes. We want to talk about the insidious nature of stress, specifically career-related stress. And my guest, Valissa Pierrelouis, is an expert. I'm going to say this. She is an expert in this topic. I want to just give you a little bit of background about Valissa, and she's going to speak for herself, but I've got to highlight her. I really do. And I'm not going to, give that sort of like formal bio. I want to highlight something really, really special. And you'll see this when you learn more about Valissa and when you navigate to, her website, which she's going to share in just a little while toward the end of the program. Valissa says something about her journey to executive success. Let me share this. She says, I landed my first management role right out of college as a customer care manager, becoming the first Black female executive at a financial services startup. Think about that. This is a long time ago. First Black female executive. She was recruited to a $20 billion financial institution to head up their merchant operations. The things that she tackled in that role are just phenomenal. And she had several advances in that role. Year one, I tackled business challenges, inspired my team, exceptional performance review. Year two, another exceptional performance review, but one thing missing, no promotion. Third year, another exceptional performance review. But again, what's happening with these promotions? And that was her turning point. Valissa went on to secure, I hope you've got your pens out, you're writing this down. 3 promotions in 5 years. 3. How did she do it? Wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. it was strategy. And that is what Valissa is here to talk about. I am so excited about this conversation. And I'll just give you just a little tad bit about Valissa too, a little bit more. This is not just about career. Valissa is a woman who knows how to create balance in her life. She is a wife. She's a bonus mom. She is the CEO and founder of Standout Career Guide. I'm so exceptionally proud of what she's doing in her career and while also maintaining work-life harmony. Notice I didn't say work-life balance, I said work-life harmony. And Valissa's going to talk about that as well. I'm so happy about the work that Valissa is doing that I tapped her expertise. I wanted her in my sphere of influence, and she has accepted the role as career moderator for a new global community that we've launched, which is the Fit and Functional for Life community. And that means, in a nutshell, fit and functional, not just for an event, not just for a special, something that's occurring, but fit and functional for life across our lifespan. So without further ado, I am going to turn this over to my beautiful guest, Valissa, to share a little bit more about yourself and how you've come into this role as CEO of Standout Career Guide.
Thank you so much, Angel. To just sit and listen to that is just so empowering. Because when we think about ourselves, often we take who we are and what we've accomplished and what we do on a day-to-day basis, we take it for granted. And just to have women like you doing your thing, powerful, what you've created in the Get Fit and Functional community, along with House Calls with Angel, your SIVA Institute and Health Group. I mean, it's just amazing for those things to be said about me from a powerhouse woman and leader.
Thank you so much.
Like you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And while I don't consider myself an expert, because to me, expert says, hey, we know everything and none of us know everything, but I can truly share that I have learned from my battle scars.
Yes. Yes.
Just like the women before me learned from theirs and helped me learn. That's what I want to do. And I shared with you in a prior conversation. Thank you so much for sharing those highlights about my career and what I went through before I got to those 3 promotions in 5 years. Definitely I'll share something about those first 3 years when I got to that $20 billion financial institution is going from a startup and reaching the executive leadership level there, and then transitioning to what we call, corporate America. What I figured, hey, what I've been doing all this time, the same way I ascended to executive leadership there is how I was going to do it here. And that was to go in and figure out what needed to be done and get it done. And the promotions would come. My work would speak for itself.
Yes. Surely my work will speak for itself.
It will speak for itself. And it only spoke so much. It spoke enough to get, an exceeds expectations performance review, to get another project, a bigger project, a highly visible project. And, like you said, year 2, same, the same thing. And something that I shared with you was around year 2, probably in between year 2 and year 3, which is why we're talking about this in Women's Health Month, is that I started to have these lightheaded episodes. Just all of a sudden, it wasn't when I was standing up or sitting down. They would just happen out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Let me explain to you the woman I was at that time.
Please.
Get up at
Mhm.
you get up at 5, 6, you get into the office at 7. You're the first one in, you're the last one to leave at
Yeah.
around 7. You're skipping lunch, you're not getting out of the office, you just,
Mhm.
you're just hitting it. You're just hitting it hard because you want every T to be crossed, every I to be dotted. I know there are women out there that can relate. You
I'm raising my hand. In
have
fact,
to
I'll
take a
raise two.
breath. You barely even take time for a water cooler chat.
Yep.
None of that. You're just getting it done because you want everyone to know I am your person when you need something done. That's the
Yep.
reputation that you want to build.
Mhm.
And I felt that was the reputation I needed to build in order to get to that next level.
Mhm.
And year 1 and 2, that isn't what was happening. Was I getting the attention from my manager saying, "Hey, good job," and getting the raises, the average raises that you get
Right.
when you're not getting a promotion?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was happening. Did
Mhm.
my team admire me? My direct reports? Yes. My
Absolutely.
peers? Yes.
Mhm.
But what I was shooting for wasn't happening. And that was that next promotion.
Mhm.
So when year 3 came and there was no promotion, and in fact, there was a reorganization, which led to a job elimination, which led to here's a lesser role.
Mhm. Mhm.
We're going to pluck this accounting piece away, hire a CPA. So you know what that meant.
Right.
Basically, all of my salary went to hire the CPA.
Yep.
And but you're doing a great job.
Doing a great
Keep
job.
it up.
Mhm. Yes.
That is just not what you want to see.
That's right.
So it was before we even got to that point. I was on burnout, but didn't even realize it
Mhm.
because I was just focused on what I want and what I thought
Mhm.
needed to happen to get to that next level.
Mhm.
And when year 3 came and that didn't happen, I had to sit back and reflect and say,
Mhm.
okay, what is going on?
Mhm.
What am I missing in this environment? Because obviously what worked in the last one is not working in this one.
That's right.
And what can I do differently? And the first thing I did for myself without even being, having a conversation with someone is it came to me, you are burned out. You need
Exactly.
to pull back. You need
Yep.
to stop working on weekends. I didn't even say that. Working
Mhm.
on weekends
Mhm.
and working on your vacation,
Mhm.
thinking about work or doing
Yep.
something for work. And
Mhm.
finally, I pulled back and said, but wait a minute. Who is telling me to do all of this? Who
Inflection point number one.
is telling me to work 12-hour days and still
Yeah.
work when I get home and work on the weekends and work on vacation?
Mhm.
Am I crazy? I don't even know where that came
Right.
from. And I think I started to work more and more hours because I wasn't getting the I wasn't reaching that goal of the next promotion. So my response to that year 2 was just work harder,
Exactly.
put in
Exactly.
more hours.
Put in more hours, thinking that that is what will get you to that next level. And you've said so many important things already. First question is taking a step back and doing a reassessment
Mhm.
and checking in to say, where was the memo? Who said that this is what I was supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Whose expectations, first of all, where are these expectations coming from? Are they intrinsic, extrinsic? Are they coming from some outside source? Has someone blatantly said, this is what we want you to do? Or am I taking on these expectations? Am I projecting and doing, as we say, doing the most, doing too much?
Mhm.
And as you said, far too often, our check in comes with a physical symptom,
Yes.
headaches, palpitations, fatigue, you know,
Feeling like you're about to pass out.
pass out, lightheadedness.
Yes.
It's almost always associated with a physical symptom that we have to take that step back. And one of the things that concerns me so much is I've had so many women say to me, oh, yes, I went to my former doctor, whomever it was, and they did blood work, they did everything. And they said, well, it's just stress. Well, just stress, you know, just stress. So I want you to continue to share when you had those physical symptoms, you took that step back. What was the thought in your mind aside from, hey, I need to reevaluate? What else was going on in your mind at that time about, what I need to do? Did you immediately sort of say, I've got to put a strategy in place? Had you, where were your resources? What did you tap into aside from your own inside intuition? Was there something else or someone else who may have said, hey, here's what I think is happening here, your clinical provider or anyone else in your sphere of influence?
Yeah, that's a great question, Angel. First I pulled back and said, I need to work less hours.
Mhm.
And it still wasn't a 40-hour work week, but it definitely wasn't a 60-hour work week, right? And no one asked me to do that.
Mhm.
And the weekends became my weekends, and vacation became my vacation. So
Good.
that's number one.
Number one. Mhm.
Second part of my strategy was go to other people that who obviously they've achieved to where I may want to go, and so they may be good resources for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
So one thing I did was I met a few women, and I said to one, I went to one, she was a couple levels up for me, maybe 2 or 3 levels up for me. I met her when I first started. She took interest in my career, at least how it was going since I got to the company. So I went to her and said, hey, I am looking for a mentor.
Mhm.
I was successful at my past organization. I'm doing well here as far as how my performance is seen. I'm not getting any traction. So that tells me that I need to learn how to navigate this new environment, and I'm looking for a mentor to work with me.
Mhm.
And what she said to me was, I, she understood my need for a mentor. She couldn't support me in that, but she was going to make an introduction to a woman who could.
Mhm.
And that person was a beautiful jewel. We're still friends today. She's been a mentor. She left the company and went on to be an executive coach.
Mhm.
I've signed on with her as an executive coach, but she was kind of that first person that said, hey, at your level, you are likely a good candidate for this mentor mentee program that the organization had at that time. So that was my first step,
Mhm. Mhm.
finding a mentor.
Finding a mentor.
And then the next step after that was just starting to have what I would call kind of informational interviews
Mhm.
with people in the organization. Again, going to people that I knew and who knew of me, but maybe we just didn't know each other as well.
Mhm.
So this particular woman was my first manager's manager, and she had made it now to the executive, like senior C-suite in the organization. I shared with her how and this was a pivotal moment
Mm.
in my career at this company. I shared with her my career there so far, how I was doing as far as performance reviews and feedback, and I just wanted to understand what steps I needed to take
Mhm.
to move my career forward because I wanted to build a career there.
Mhm.
And she affirmed, what I was sharing with her, but I wasn't hearing what I needed to hear, which is, what do I do next?
Right, right.
And I met a friend and mentor, and there are studies about how important it is to have friends at your place of work.
Mhm.
So I met a friend at work, and she became a mentor as well, not the formal mentor through the organization, but a personal mentor. And she was a couple levels up from me. And she had given me this one question to ask. And it was a powerful question because it gave me what I needed, that insight that I needed. And it was, what are you hearing about me?
Mhm.
And what this executive said to me was, that is a great question, Valissa.
Mhm.
And now that you ask, I'm not hearing anything about you.
Mhm.
And that is what you want to change.
Yes,
Whoo,
yes.
mind blown.
Mind blown.
Because in our organization, promotions, approvals for promotions go to her level.
Mhm.
So if you're not hearing about me at that
Mhm.
level,
Mhm.
that might be some reason why I haven't got that promotion yet.
Now, Valissa, I want to pause here. I want to pause because I want anyone and everyone who is on this live event and those who listen after this event to think about what this means. You hear that saying, well, success is all about who you know. And I always make the argument it's about who you know and what they know that you know.
Yes.
Who you know and what they know that you know. This person who was in decision-making capacity did not know, maybe she knew of you, but she did not know you in a capacity that would allow her to make a critical decision about your career.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to put a mile marker in that because no matter what sector you're in, whether it be healthcare, tech, women in payments, no matter where you are, if the people who are in decision-making capacity do not know you, only know of you, your name is listed in the newsletter somewhere, but if they don't know you and know what you know, that might be something that you want to change. And like you just said, I
And
think
I will
that is
add
such
one more, a little similar spin, but different spin. And that is knowing who you are, what you do, and how you do it, or
yes.
how well you do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is key, because I agree with you. It's a lot of I hear people having those conversations about needing to know people and not necessarily focusing on, well, how do you get people to know you?
Mm-hmm.
And that can be done without you being a what's talk about extrovert and
Mm-hmm.
introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Play to your strengths.
Exactly.
Play to your strengths.
Exactly.
And for me, and I'll share something quickly when I look back and taking those steps. I've learned, as I've written, kind of created this program for women, there are 4 areas, because you want to work smarter, not harder. There are 4 areas where you need insights
Mm-hmm.
before you create that strategy. So you work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
That's insight into yourself. So knowing what you want, what you're good at, what's important to you, like all of those things are important to understand about yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. And the reason that's important is because when you're having conversations with people and you're understanding what their needs are, what their goals and aspirations are, then you can speak to those things where you can be of service.
Mhm.
to them.
Mhm.
Also, when opportunities come your way, if you know those things about yourself, you can also evaluate, okay, is that something you want to take on? Is it going to serve your goal or your purpose? And if
Mhm.
not,
Mhm.
skip it. And if yes, then okay.
Exactly.
Second thing is team. Like understand your team, where their strengths may complement yours and where your strengths may complement their weaknesses and things like that.
Mhm.
Who's on the team, who can be a support system, who can be an ambassador that talks about you and your work,
Mhm.
who can be an ally when you have ideas that you need to support, who
Yes.
can be a challenger when you want to say, hey, like what's wrong with this idea? Like
Mhm.
challenge me, help me figure out the holes and just
Mhm.
different things, leveraging people in your network, your
Mhm.
reputation. Like that was kind of a reputation question.
Yes,
A
I
bit.
would say.
She hadn't heard of me.
Mhm.
I need to work on
Right.
leveling up to like doing my own marketing. How do I go about doing that? And
Yes.
I'm not like the party, the party person. Not that you have to be a party person, but someone
Mhm.
that's always
Mhm.
in the crowd and out talking to people.
Mhm.
How do I communicate who I am, but still be true to myself? Who I am and
Absolutely.
how I do it, and still be true to myself. And the last insight, number 4, is understanding your environment.
Mhm.
I understood how you get ahead in the environment I was in before.
Mm.
I needed to understand how promotions happen in this new environment.
Mhm.
Some companies have formal written guidelines on how promotions happen, like how they make that decision. This
Okay.
particular company did end up having that for getting to vice president level. But when I first started down the journey, they didn't.
Mhm.
But then there's always going to be those unwritten
Sure.
of how things happen.
Sure.
And so those 4 things, yourself, your team, your reputation and relationships, and your environment.
Mhm.
Once you understand those 4 insights, then you can start creating a strategy around where do I need to focus my effort.
Yes.
And so that's another like the big piece that women get excited and it just clicks for them when I
Mhm.
start talking to them about
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
And so the 6 key strategies, or for me, I say this, the 6 V's that make it easy for people to remember.
Mhm.
First, starting out with internal,
Mhm.
your viewpoint and your vision.
Mhm.
Viewpoint is how you look at things. Do you
Mhm.
believe you can do it? Do you believe there are opportunities? When you see obstacles, are you looking at them as challenges or just immovable mountains?
Mhm.
Those types of things. And then your vision, what do you want? You kind of have to have this true north.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So as you take these steps, and not to say you're going to be able to go in a straight line,
Mhm.
but at least if you have the vision, you see it in front of you, and as you take the different steps,
Mhm.
you still have your eye on that. So you know
Exactly.
that you're going in the right direction versus if
Mhm.
too
Mhm.
far in one direction or the other that's not getting you there. So
Mhm.
those are your 2 internal V's. Then there's that external, that effort. And so your value. I talked about talking to people and understand what their needs are and what their strengths are and what their challenges may be, where you can be of service.
Mhm.
So there's an opportunity to share what you know,
Mhm.
you do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then there's visibility.
Mhm.
Visibility is as simple as if you're quiet in meetings today, you're sitting there being a spectator and you're in your
Mhm.
head versus speaking up.
Mhm.
And you don't always have to have an answer. Sometimes you can ask questions, and
Mhm.
that's just as powerful as
Absolutely.
an answer.
Mhm. Mhm.
When people say hello to you or
Mhm.
how are you,
Mhm.
instead of saying fine or busy,
Mhm.
you can really tell them, hey, what's going on? I
Mhm.
feel excited. I'm working on this project. Here's the impact.
Mhm.
And this is what's next.
Mhm. So I want to pause right there because you've said, you know, so many takeaways, and I just have my little notes here, and I hope our audience does too, because vision, values, visibility, the first three V's. And for those, as you get more familiar with Valissa's work and her coaching, she really does create this sort of ecosystem for her coaching clients to build this sort of ecosystem where you're continuously, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Valissa, but you're continuously reassessing these six V's, this whole, you create this ecosystem and you're continually exploring the whole thing. And this is not something that's fixed and static. This is something that you're continuously refining. You said from the very beginning about having that level of insight and understanding your environment. And I think that's a question to ponder at the beginning of of your journey in this new organization. The first couple of weeks,
a new role.
Yes.
When you get a new manager.
Yes.
Those are all triggers to start
the process.
Those insights.
Yeah.
And two, the six V's are things where you're looking at it like some of those V's, we haven't gotten through all six, but some of those V's, you're going to be good there. I'm good there. Here's the one I want to prioritize.
Right.
For me, it was visibility.
Right. And so that's what I want to keep going here, because I want to make sure that we get this down. We're talking about vision, which is clarity, value.
Skip viewpoint, because that was the first one, that mind.
Viewpoint. That's right. Viewpoint.
The internal viewpoint and
viewpoint. Vision. Okay, viewpoint. We're talking about that mindset and everything. Whenever you're making a change in your life, whether it's losing weight, lowering your blood pressure, changing your career, everything starts with your mindset. Everything. So we're talking about viewpoint. We said vision. What is your big vision? What's your vision for today? What's your vision for this week? What's your vision for next month, third quarter, fourth quarter?
Yes.
We talk lots of times, we look at vision over the courses of years, 5 years, 10 years, but you got to have a vision for today. Got to have a vision for just getting through the week, through the month, right? And then values. And I know that you take your coaching clients through a really, in-depth values assessment. What's important to me? What's important to me in this organization, but what's also important to me outside in my personal life, with my family. What do I value? And that, I think those are really important questions to engage with. And this is, as we said, this isn't something you just do one time. This is a revolving, concept, something that you're constantly shifting betwixt and between. Valissa, please continue. So the next set of V's in this structure, in this ecosystem.
Thank you. And so there's that, the value, the visibility, and visibility is about, again, people knowing who you are and how you do it, how you show up, taking those opportunities to speak up, your voice. And your voice is sharing your contributions.
That's right.
What I hear just in talking to women in general, whether it's someone I'm talking to about their career, among friends, reading about it. I mean, there's so many books about it. So it's common that many women are uncomfortable sharing their contributions because they feel like it's bragging and all of those things. Communicating your intent, communicating what's next, but mostly sharing your contributions, but also sharing your goals and aspirations. Because what I've found is when you share those, people think of you when they hear about those things. It may be an opportunity that comes up and they think of you. They think about what you can do and how you do it. They think about what you want and what's your goals and what's your vision. And it's funny, a young lady was telling me, she said, hey, I was in a meeting and she prepared for the meeting. And I can relate to this because I'm that way too. I prepare for a meeting so that I can show up at my best.
Mhm.
When I don't plan, I'm sitting there kind of processing things,
Sure.
new information. And then when I finally come out with something, the team has moved on to something
Sure.
else. And so
Sure.
I go to the meeting ahead of time, understand, what value they're expecting me to bring. And then I have some time to think about that where I can really show up. I can show up with answers or I can show up with good questions, but I'm showing up. And so a young lady told me that that's where she got spotted. She got spotted in the meeting, got her role based on how she showed up in a meeting.
Mhm.
Same thing with me at this organization. I got someone's attention with how I showed up at a meeting. And in my case, I was asking good questions. And
Mhm.
so it's a lot of times it's not doing a whole lot of extra. It's
Right.
what we do on a daily
That's
basis
right.
and how we show up
That's
that
right.
makes the difference.
Absolutely. I
And I want to say that
wholeheartedly
again.
agree.
A lot of times is not doing a whole lot of extra or putting in those extra long hours or working on the weekends and raising your hand for everything.
Mhm.
It's doing a better job of taking advantage of those daily opportunities that come up,
Mhm.
bumping into your peers or your manager and having those quick conversations about what's going on.
Mhm.
Even conveying to your manager what's going on and what's the impact. If your manager isn't the type of person that say, hey, let's get a check-in once a week or once a month,
Mhm.
that's okay. Put something
Mhm.
together for your manager and share it.
Exactly.
Get involved find out, talk to people in other departments. That was a huge thing for me. I was in my office focusing on my current job
Mhm. Mhm.
all the time.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
wasn't taking time to look up and understand what was going on outside of my department
Mhm.
and understanding what committees and different things were going on outside of my department. And once I did, that's just opened up. That opened up things. Once I share with my manager what my goals and aspirations were. I mean, really sat down, not in a conversation in passing,
Sure.
which I
Mhm.
had done about getting to vice president level, not just writing it on my annual self assessment,
Mhm.
but sitting down and saying, for these three reasons, and sharing like impactful things and saying, I'm ready to move to vice president level this
Sure.
year
Sure.
or next.
Right.
And what
And
I found out is he supported me. But what else I found out was he said, I didn't know that you were interested in going to vice president level.
exactly. Exactly.
We
You
make
know,
assumptions that people do know. We make assumptions
exactly.
that we're going to be rewarded if we work really hard and we get results.
Mhm.
And so I say, don't operate on autopilot.
Mhm.
Let's not make assumptions. Let's focus our efforts. Let's ask the question. Let's make what we do and contribute known.
Mhm.
So, visibility and voice. And the last thing I would say is velocity.
Mm.
Date some, prioritize your strategy, prioritize what you want, and prioritize the effort that you're going to take to get there.
Yes.
So, that's the last V, but that is an important one. So it's internal work, external effort is going to get you that maximum momentum
That's right.
with viewpoint, vision, value, voice, visibility, and the last V is velocity.
I love it. I love it. It makes so much sense. And, that's strategy. That is having a plan. But I think what also comes to mind for me is you can't manage what you don't measure. These are measurable, actionable steps. visibility. I did this. I wrote out exactly what our team has been working on, what we've gained in this team, how much our sales volume is, or if you're in healthcare, our patient volume, whatever the case may be. But having real data to support what you're asking for, and that data has to be values-driven data. It's not
Yes.
enough to say, I've been working 7 days a week. Those numbers don't matter when people haven't asked you to work 7 days a week. The numbers that matter have to be numbers that contribute to what the organization has identified as their values, because that's another thing. Don't assume that the organization values you working 7 days a week. Don't assume that. What are their values?
If the number, because working in sales, if the number is 3 million, but you're not a salesperson, how does what you bring to the table go toward that 3 million?
Right.
If you're in a support role.
Right.
Okay, how do you quantify that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I talk to customers on the front end, how fast I get them through this, the experience my team creates, and how fast I can get them through the onboarding system with a quality experience.
Mm-hmm.
The faster they sign on with us and start using our services, that's how we start making money.
Exactly.
So
understanding that pipeline.
Yes, that's the quantifiable result for them and of their book of business. These are the clients that they're taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, identifying those, I'd say the top 3 priorities for your company,
Mm-hmm.
for your department, because they all trickle down. There's the organization, there's your division or department. That trickles down to your manager. What are your manager's top 3 priorities?
Mm-hmm.
And then build yours around that, but also have that conversation, letting your manager know, hey, this is what I'm shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
And have those check-ins and say, hey, I want to be on track for this.
Right.
And I understand that some organizations are not that way.
Mm-hmm.
The organization I work for now is, they want you to have those conversations less than 60 days in. They're like, hey,
yeah,
here's the org chart. Take a look at it.
That's right.
Do this. I want you to own your career. I want you to have those conversations.
Yeah.
And even if you don't work in an organization that says that to you outright,
Mm-hmm.
we have to take that responsibility for ourselves, because we're responsible for ourselves. We are a business of one. Organizations look at opportunities and they're reevaluating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to put those regular cadences in ourselves as career women and leaders, and just keep abreast of what we want to do, what is important, what's our vision, and what
Mm-hmm.
is going to get us there, and take steps accordingly.
Exactly. And leading into our sort of wrap up as we get there, what I want to talk about, I want to preserve just a little bit of space for this conversation, and that is that what you just said, we're responsible for our careers. Think of this outside of the existing organization. We see now COVID, many companies have, closed, restructured, reorganized, downsized, and whatnot. Yes. I think that all of these 6 V's that you've shared apply externally as well. Think of them even further into your career. How are you making yourself visible to the larger global marketplace, such that if you are downsized out of a wonderful organization, how can you make that quick pivot into something else, a new opportunity, without having to just totally rebuild the whole house, so to speak. Yeah, start from scratch. So I think all of these 6 V's are applicable to the role that you're in now and where you want to go within a particular organization. But then I would challenge listeners to think about, where do you want to go in the global picture of your career? Where do you want to be at 50, 55, 60, 65, by retirement? What is your 2.0 going to look like? What is your 3.0 going to look like? And these strategies here will take you into 2.0, 3.0, and then right into retirement, I personally think. And I also want to share something too. For those of you who, after this, I'd really encourage you to follow Valissa on LinkedIn because she shares some real pearls. This one stood out to me. I put it in my little journal here. I photocopied it and I go back to it. You talked about a dream team, an ambassador, an ally, advocate, challenger, passive mentor, cheerleader, mentor, coach, and peer mentor. These are the people that need to be on your career team in one capacity or another. Football teams don't win games by just only having cheerleaders. They also have, all kinds of special teams and special coaches and whatnot. So invest in your career, invest in yourself, work smarter, not harder by having a strategy. Do not allow yourself to wind up in my office with shortness of breath and just pain because you literally are doing so much that's not getting you the traction that you want in your career. Because we have so many tools and so many books, as you mentioned, Valissa, there's so many ways to get ahead in our careers. There are courses, coaching. So I want to leave this final sort of wrap up with you by asking, final round, any tips, tools, strategies, resources, podcasts, anything that you would like to encourage our listeners to grab hold of, tune into, and then if you can share with us where they can get in touch with you, how they can find you, in addition to following you on LinkedIn, how can they get in touch with you and stay in touch with you?
Oh, thank you so much, Angel. I would say one thing I would leave people with is go to my website, what Angel just mentioned, and connect with me. My contact information is there, and I will send you that sheet about creating your dream team, which is your network. And everyone has one. And that is what our good friend Kelly Hoey, the author of Build Your Dream Network, she says. I really subscribe to how she looks at networking. You have a network. It's just looking at it and figuring out who's playing what role right now. One person may be playing more than one role. Take a look at that. So contact me. I will send that to you. And my website is www.standoutcareer.com. Again, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I have a Get Promoted one-on-one coming up. So you follow me on LinkedIn, you will see that. And it is the 6 V's to catapult your career. But the biggest thing is create that strategy and that visibility. Make sure people know who you are, what you do, and how you do it. And following those, getting those 4 insights into yourself, your team, your reputation and relationships, and your environment that you're in. And those 6 V's: viewpoint, vision, value, voice, visibility, and velocity. Determining where you need to place your effort and just focus on one initially and move forward. And I would just be, honored to help anyone, shoot me a message on LinkedIn, a comment. I'm out there quite a bit.
Yes.
Or to my website, and we can meet and talk. But my goal, my mission is to have more women, accelerate their careers and reap those rewards without burning out.
That's right.
We have what we need. We just need to know how to use it. And something I say about knowledge, there used to be this old saying that said, knowledge is power. I have a different take on that. Knowledge is power when you use it.
Exactly.
So take this knowledge and use it to your benefit. I'm I'm rooting for you.
Amen to all of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valissa. So there you've got it, folks. You've heard it. She doesn't want to call herself an expert. That's fine. I'm going to call her an expert. I reserve that right to do that. I hope you have enjoyed this conversation that I've had with Valissa. I just want to reiterate, please hop on over to www.standoutcareer.com. Check out Valissa and her awesome work. Take advantage of that offering. She's got a course, a Get Promoted 101 coming up that extends so much further than this conversation. She's going to take you through everything that you need to know to take yourself to the next level. I would add on that, think about coming in and joining us in the Fit and Functional for Life community. That is getfitandfunctionalforlife.com, because Valissa is moderating our career circle there, and she's keeping us on our toes to make sure that we are working smarter, not harder, and getting where we want to be without burnout. Okay. So with that said, once again, Valissa, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be looking for that announcement, and we're going to be signing up for that Get Promoted 101.
Thank you so much, everybody.
You're welcome. We'll see you soon.